A bat once gripped and swung by the legendary Joe DiMaggio himself takes center stage today, a true relic of baseball history. This bat was brought by our guest in 1976 for $147, nearly a week's wages, out of pure admiration for the Yankee legend. Joe DiMaggio, the Yankees center fielder, was a three-time MVP, best known for his unmatched 56-game hitting streak in 1941. He was widely considered as one of the greatest baseball players of all time. With the Louisville Slugger brand name stamped on it, this brand was expertly crafted by Hillerick and Bradsby, adding to its appeal. Interestingly, this bat is one of DiMaggio's very few bread and butter bats, with its unique characteristics he personally added.
He said, "Well, you got my bread and butter bat." He said, I get a shipment, and I go through the bats, and I pick the one that feels good. I dip it in olive oil, and I sprinkle rosin on it, and then I put it under a flame. When it sets, I sand it smooth.
A notable feature is the tape on the handle, likely added to reinforce a few cracks. This bat measures 35 3/4 inches, a precise length suited to DiMaggio's powerful yet graceful swing. Slightly lighter than its original 36 ounces due to sanding and use, this bat weighs 35.7 ounces, further solidifying its authenticity. Made of ash, this bat has the ideal balance of strength and flexibility, giving the player control over where to hit the ball. This bat has a D29 serial number on its knob, further confirming its authenticity. Notably, this bat was used in 1947, one of DiMaggio's MVP years, adding to its desirability. Game-used bats, signed by the legendary player DiMaggio, are very hard to come by.
They're hard to come by. They're very desirable to the collectors. I can find records, as auction records have been databased now for 20 so years. I can find maybe about 50 examples.
Due to the rarity of this bat among collectors and baseball enthusiasts, its value at auction is expected to be approximately
Place a value at auction of $80,000 to $100,000.
Oh. And for insurance purposes, the replacement value of this bat would be
I would have a value placed on it for insurance purposes of $125,000.
Wow.
A baseball that captures the golden era of the sport and the legacy of three Hall of Fame players, this 1922 signed baseball originates from a game between the Detroit Tigers and the New York Yankees. Inherited from his stepfather, who attended the game, this baseball and its story has been preserved in the guest's family for many years. But does our guest truly know its worth?
Stepdad, his child, he was 8 years old, and his dad had taken him to the game, and they went down to the dugout. His stepdad gave it to Babe Ruth to sign, and then Babe Ruth gave it to Lou Gehrig, and presumably gave it to Tony Lazzeri to sign.
Perfect.
Interestingly, this baseball is signed by Hall of Famers of the New York Yankees from the late 1920s. Signed by Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Tony Lazzeri, three members of the legendary Murderers Row, this ball holds significant value among collectors.
We see Babe Ruth on the sweet spot where he should be. You got Lou Gehrig on one of the side panels, and flanking him is Tony Lazzeri.
Yeah.
Murderers Row was a nickname specifically describing the first six hitters in the Yankees' formidable 1927 lineup: Earl Combs, Mark Koenig, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Bob Musial, and Tony Lazzeri. Characterized by its red and blue stitching and manufacturer stamps, this baseball showcases its authenticity. All signatures on this baseball are in black ink. While they have faded over time, they remain strong and legible. Interestingly, this particular ball scored, revealing that the Yankees lost the game 9-8, not one of their best years. Given its authenticity, story, and its direct link to the legends of baseball, this 1922 baseball is valued at.
At auction, we estimate this ball could sell for $25,000.
For insurance purposes, the ball should be valued at.
You could insure it for $35,000.
Wow, that's even more than I had thought. I've been thinking this ball was really worth.
A baseball rich in history and a testament to a great game, this 1927 signed baseball represents a golden era for the New York Yankees. Passed down to our guest by his grandfather, this extraordinary baseball was caught at the end of a game.
Well, my grandfather caught that in Yankee Stadium, I think in 1927. Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig stood on second base and hit a couple boxes of balls out in the bleachers.
Featuring the signatures of legendary players from one of the most dominant teams in baseball history, the New York Yankees, this ball is a remarkable piece of the sport's legacy. The New York Yankees, an American professional baseball team based in the Bronx, New York City, compete in Major League Baseball, MLB, as a member of the American League, AL East Division. Capturing the dominance of the iconic Murderers Row lineup and the unforgettable 1927 Yankees season, this ball was signed by two of the most legendary figures in baseball history, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig.
Then went out to second base and hit him into the stands.
Normally, we don't like to show baseballs that have more than one signature on them unless they're a team, because it generally devalues the ball. But that's different in the case of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig.
Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig were two of the most famous athletes in the United States in 1927. Ruth hit a record-setting 60 home runs in the season, a record that stood for 34 years. Gehrig also had a breakthrough year, winning the American League MVP award with 47 home runs, 173 RBIs, and a .373 batting average. Notably, the signature on this baseball is bold and dark, increasing the desirability. This 1927 ball signed by both Ruth and Gehrig is extremely rare and valuable due to its connection to these legendary duo. Despite signs of wear, the authenticity and provenance of this piece make it a valuable collector's item. An appropriate insurance value for this signed baseball, even in its present condition, is...
I wouldn't insure it for less than $20,000.
Whoa, my goodness.
It's an amazing piece.
Wow.
A rare and historically significant collection, this remarkable set offers a unique glimpse into baseball's storied past. Our guest presents 3 signed baseballs, a photograph, and a National Association of Professional Baseball pass that was given to his father in 1938. The first item on display is a photograph signed by Babe Ruth, personally dedicated to the guest when he was just 2 years old in Fargo. Babe Ruth, widely regarded as one of the greatest baseball players of all time, was a legendary slugger whose impact on the sport remains unparalleled. The highlight of this collection is a dual-signed baseball by Babe Ruth and Roger Maris, known as the pièce de résistance. Though slightly smudged, when flipped over, this pièce de résistance shows Roger Maris's signature, which remains bold and clear, holding significant historical and sentimental value.
Roger Maris was signed by my father into professional baseball when he pitched in Fargo for the Fargo-Moorhead Twins, a Class C Northern League at that time.
Next is a 1936 baseball, autographed by Grover Cleveland Alexander while he was traveling, acquired when our guest was about 11 years old.
I got that one when I was about 10 or 11 years old under the stadium in Wahpeton, North Dakota. He was taking a shower out of a bucket. He was barnstorming across the country. He lived in Los Angeles.
Grover Cleveland Alexander was a Hall of Fame pitcher, considered one of the greatest to ever take the mound, known for his pinpoint accuracy and dominance in the early days of baseball. Also included in this collection is a 1936 home run ball hit by Red Kress of the Washington Senators, signed by the entire Senators team. Lastly, the National Association of Professional Baseball pass from 1938, signed, and it granted the guest's father free access to any baseball park in the United States. This pass ties the collection together, illustrating how these incredible pieces were gathered over a lifetime.
In the United States.
Terrific, and the baseball pass ties in the provenance and story that you're telling. Your dad having the access to the ballparks and being there.
The value of this entire collection of baseball memorabilia at auction would be...
basically is a package that's somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000.
Oh my gosh.
A piece of history cherished for generations, this watch has remained a treasured family artifact, symbolizing a legacy of greatness. The guest, the great-granddaughter of the famous Jess Willard, brought in his boxing photograph and his 1915 championship watch. Jess Willard, known as the Potawatomi Giant for his towering height of 6'6" and weight of 240 pounds, claimed the World Heavyweight Boxing Championship by defeating Jack Johnson in 1915. In 1910, Willard decided to pursue boxing as a means of earning a living, despite being known for his gentle nature.
And your great-grandfather said he decided to become a boxer because he wasn't well educated and he thought it was a good way to make a living.
Though he lost his first bout in 1911, he went on to win 23 or 24 of his next fights, proving his strength and resilience in the ring. His fight against Jack Johnson in 1915 was one of the most significant, dramatic, and, to some, controversial bouts in boxing history. The match took place at the Oriental Racetrack in Havana, a newly opened venue that gained widespread attention due to the event. Jack Johnson started off dominating the fight, but a critical turning point allowed Jess Willard to make a comeback, securing his victory and claiming the heavyweight championship.
Jack Johnson was winning most of the rounds, but the turning point was the 20th round. And all of a sudden, your great-grandfather started picking up a head of steam and started hitting Jack Johnson more. And in the 26th round, he hit him with a right and put him down. And it's said that Jack Johnson tried to grab hold of Willard as he was going down, but couldn't, fell to the mat. And your great-grandfather won.
The owners of the Oriental Racetrack, thrilled with the publicity the fight had brought to their venue, commissioned these watches as a token of appreciation, presenting one to both Jess Willard and Jack Johnson. Willard went on to defend his title for 4 years, before eventually losing to Jack Dempsey in 1919. Featuring intricate detailing and robust craftsmanship, the watch is a testament to early 20th century horology. Crafted from 18-karat gold, it boasts a durable case and a clear, legible dial. When flipped over, the back of the watch reveals an engraving that reads, "Presented to Jess Willard, heavyweight champion, Havana, April 6, 1915. This inscription, along with its historical significance, makes this watch a highly valuable collector's piece, placing its auction value at
of $15,000 to $25,000.
Oh, wow.
While an insurance value for this incredible piece of horology would be,
I'd insure it for $50,000.
Wow. Wow. That's very surprising.
A symbol of the resurrection of baseball, this award represents a pivotal moment in the sport's history and serves as a testament to Babe Ruth's transformative impact on the game. Purchased by our guest at an auction for $1,900. This extraordinary piece reflects a deep appreciation for rare and unusual memorabilia. This historic artifact was awarded to Babe Ruth during his time with the Boston Red Sox, recognizing his achievement of setting a new Major League Baseball single-season home run record. Babe Ruth, an American baseball legend, holds a significant place in sports history as a player who revolutionized the game. Debuting in 1914, during what was known as the dead ball era, Ruth initially played as a pitcher. However, as his extraordinary hitting abilities became apparent, he was moved to the outfield full-time, where he shattered the home run record with 29 home runs in 1919.
In fact, with his pitching career, he won 20 games, 2 years. But what they found is he would hit very, very well, far beyond what an average pitcher would hit. So they realized that he was as much or more value to the Red Sox by putting him in the outfield.
This award was specifically crafted in appreciation of his record-setting performance, also symbolizing his transitions.
And this, to me, not only shows the transition of him becoming a slugger, but it's the transition of him from going from Boston to New York, because as you mentioned...
From that point on, Babe Ruth continued to break records. And after being sold to the New York Yankees in 1920, he became a full-time power hitter, ushering in the live ball era.
In 1927, he set the record of 60 home runs that was not broken until Roger Maris in 1961. Just a phenomenal slugging career and changed the complexion of baseball forever.
Comprising this record award box is a tiny cue ball made of marine ivory, most likely from walrus tusk, a material considered more valuable than other ivory due to its lack of modern restrictions. Also included in the box is a miniature bat, crafted from silver, engraved with 29 home runs. When flipped over, it reveals an inscription of Babe Ruth's name, further cementing its authenticity and importance. Given its rarity, craftsmanship, authenticity, and historical significance, one can expect this box and its content to be worth.
I'd put an auction estimate of $10,000 to $15,000 on this.
Terrific. Oh, this is wonderful. A home run.
It is a home run.
These banners commemorating a remarkable undefeated season in the history of Yale College football stand as a testament to the team's enduring legacy. Brought in by the guest, who is the nephew of the esteemed and renowned John Augustus Hartwell, a right end for the Yale football team in 1891. John Augustus Hartwell was an American college football player, coach, military officer, and physician. In 1891, the Yale College football players didn't lose 1 point, drawing a large number of spectators from far to watch the game.
Actually, the last game of the season, 40,000 people showed up at that game, at the 1891 last game. And that, in and of itself, was important because it really gave notoriety or importance to college football at that time, really brought it into the public eye.
The team was composed of exceptional players, as seen in the accompanying photograph, including Walter Pudge Heffelfinger, one of the most celebrated football players of the era. Walter Pudge Heffelfinger was an American football player and coach, and he is considered the first athlete to play American football professionally. The banners, crafted from high-quality silk fabrics with durable stitching and gilt over the top, reflect the exquisite craftsmanship of the late 19th century. Expertly framed and impeccably preserved, these banners remain in remarkable condition, ensuring their historical integrity. With a direct connection to a formative period in American football and Yale's storied athletic legacy, these banners are regarded as highly significant historical artifacts. They serve as tangible links to the rich history of American collegiate athletics and remain a coveted piece of sports memorabilia, and they both would be worth.
I would say on the pair, $4,000 to $6,000 would be a very fair estimate.
According to the appraiser, the insurance valuation for this pair will be around
Insurance purposes, which might be a little bit higher, $7,000 or $8,000. Keep them out of sunlight, and they'll retain their gloss. It's silk with gilt over the top.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
These remarkable paintings were discovered in the guest's parents' house. They are Florida Highwayman paintings. These pieces were created by a first-generation Florida highwayman painter named Willie Daniels. Daniels was an American landscape artist from Bainbridge, Georgia.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Daniels was elected into the Florida Hall of Fame of Artists,
Really?
along with the original 26.
The Florida Highwaymen began in the 1950s with a group of African-American artists who sold their art from the trunks of their cars. This painting is an oil-on-canvas painting, and it's so realistic and beautiful to behold. Daniels' paintings have gained significant recognition and are highly valued today.
One of their pieces was featured by Michelle Obama in the White House, for example.
At auction, these two wonderful paintings detailing great strides of African-American artists would fetch
$2,000 and $4,000.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Where's the Kleenex? Oh my God.
This box is a treasured family heirloom, inherited by the guest from her grandparents.
This box was a piece that I inherited, and my grandparents were originally from Boston. It's from a pair. I remember as a child it was on a sideboard.
It is a Boston knife box made primarily from mahogany wood, featuring a beautiful arrangement of holes to keep knives and cutlery organized. The box is also equipped with a lock to secure the silverware when not in use. Additionally, it has a sawtooth inlay decoration along the base made from white pine, which is typical of furniture designs originating from Boston. Dating back to the 1800s, this single knife box is worth
$5,000 to $8,000.
Where's the Kleenex? Oh my God. Really?
It's a very desirable object.
Wow.
Beautifully carved.
This guest's uncle was in the Civil War, and this object was attached to his gun. She knew it to be a tobacco dryer and made by the Eskimos, which was confirmed. This object was used by the Eskimos for tobacco and snuff while hunting. The image on the seal is that of the animal being hunted, and the magical powers in the seal would help the hunter find his kill. On the back of the object is another face that is known to reflect the indwelling spirits of the seal. The snuff container also functioned as a small finger mask and would be put on and danced with. There are tiny holes at the side of the head where little feathers were attached, so when the noose was held, the feathers would flutter, giving an animated effect. This object dates back to 1850, and the wood is northern cedar, a strong wood that is resistant to water and cracking. Moreover, when the container is opened, there is a compartment for tobacco and snuff. This is a rare and desirable object, hence, on the retail market, would be worth
About $8,500, $8,500.
Really?
It's a very desirable object.
Wow.
Beautifully carved.
On the estate of Donald Marshman, one of the co-screenwriters of the film Sunset Boulevard, this Polish movie poster became a cherished gift for the guest from Marshman's son. Designed by the famous Polish poster artist Waldemar Szwedzki, the poster is notable not only for its striking graphic,
Actually does retain a great deal of value because the graphic is so important,
but also for its personalized inscription from Billy Wilder, the film's director. Marshman was brought into the screenwriting process in 1948 to provide a fresh perspective, He, Wilder, and Charles Brackett ultimately won an Oscar for their work on Sunset Boulevard. The inscription, addressed to Mac, adds significant value to the poster. At auction, with the inscription from Wilder, its value increases to an estimate of
$4,000 to $6,000 poster. Because the inscription's there, I think you can up that to at least $5,000 to $7,000.
This guest purchased a tall case clock at an auction in Charlotte, North Carolina. It features all wooden gears from around 25 to 26 years ago, indicating that it dates from the early 1800s.
Well, the face is, I think, very attractive, and just the simplicity of the case itself.
This clock was crafted by Elver Hart and Robinson Truesdale, brothers-in-law who worked in a Hartford, Ohio clock factory. Its case is made of poplar, a secondary wood often painted to simulate finer wood. Although the case lacks significant redeeming qualities, the dial and wooden works are the true highlights.
But as a result, they don't run as well because the gears accept moisture and they'll swell up and stop, so they're very temperamental as a result.
The dial's vibrant paint and excellent condition elevate it from a mere timepiece to folk art. It operates with a 30-hour pull-up mechanism, where the weight is manually pulled up to wind the clock. Despite the simple case, the clock's dial features a misspelled signature and a reverse number 3, adding folk art charm. This specific clock, with its unique dial and excellent condition, is now valued at
$4,000 to $5,000 range.
Oh, really?
Because of the dial. It's just fantastic. It's one of the best I've ever seen.
Yay! $15, that's pretty good.
Pretty good return on investment.
Pretty good.
a family heirloom. A penny bank from around 1900 has been treasured for approximately 80 years. Penny banks, popular toys in the late 19th century, and coveted collectibles in the 20th century.
And this elderly couple just had, out in their driveway, just had like 3 big rugs, a lot of other stuff.
Are admired for their sculptural and dimensional qualities, especially those made of cast iron. This particular bank was manufactured by J&E Stevens in Cromwell, Connecticut, around the 1890s. This bank features a slot for a cap, creating a small explosion after shooting the penny for extra excitement. The bank has remained in excellent condition, retaining its original paint and most notably, its original feathers. These feathers are a fragile component that is almost always replaced due to their delicacy. In its current condition, with the original feathers and high-quality paint, it is valued at
$4,000 and $6,000.
Wow. Yay. $15, that's pretty good.
Pretty good return on investment.
This traveling gambling wheel, dating back to around 1900, was made in Chicago, a hub for high-quality gambling equipment. Likely used by con men to hustle money in bars and trains, it's designed to favor the house, ensuring the odds were always in their favor. This amazing wheel has been a cherished family heirloom for as long as the guest can remember, passed down through generations from grandparents and great-grandparents who had a penchant for collecting antiques. Despite its age, the wheel remains in remarkably good condition, adding to its allure. It not only remains a fascinating slice of gambling history, but also carries the sentimental value of a family treasure, a testament to its historical value and excellent preservation. This unique piece, at auction, is expected to fetch around.
It should certainly bring in the $1,500 range.
Really?
This silk lithograph calendar, originating from the early 1920s, holds significant historical and aesthetic value. It was originally bestowed upon the guest's relative, who served with the Standard Oil Company of New York and China during the late 1800s. This piece stands out for its rare silk printing, typically common in Chinese artworks.
This is lovely because it's not printed on paper. It's printed on silk.
Its imagery depicts scenes likely intended to resonate with both Chinese and Western audiences. Unlike other Standard Oil calendars of its time, which often featured crowded compositions, this one maintains a clear, focused aesthetic that enhances its visual appeal and collectability. From a collector's standpoint, the calendar's condition is exceptional, with vibrant colors and minimal wear, reflecting both its historical significance and the quality of its preservation. Its worth is estimated to be between
At auction, a fair estimate for this piece would be between $800 and $1,200.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
A stunning leaded glass lampshade with a gilt bronze base was crafted by Duffner and Kimberly in the early 20th century.
You saw here the little Duffner and Kimberly label.
Yes.
This is a beautiful leaded glass shade.
It was purchased by the guest's grandmother at an auction around 1929 and has been cherished by the family for over 80 years, despite enduring damage from the Loma Prieta earthquake, which caused an irregular shape and minor glass loss. The lamp retains its inherent beauty and craftsmanship. Notably, it features intricate leaded glasswork, typical of the period, showcasing the quality of production. Though it is not as pioneering as the works of Tiffany Studios, the lamp is esteemed for its elegance and historical value. The lamp's conservation is emphasized, highlighting its enduring allure and importance as early 20th century craftsmanship. Professional restoration could significantly enhance its auction value, making it worth much more than in its current state.
$12,000 to $16,000 if it were in good shape.
Thank you. Well, I'm very excited.
Oh,
and
good.
I'm happy to know something about it.
It's a pleasure to see it.
This guest and his wife bought this piece of furniture at an estate sale.
Went to an estate sale, waited in line all night, and fought through the dealers, and was one of the first ones in.
Well, good for you. Your persistence paid off.
It is a William and Mary style chest dating back to the early 18th century. Made in southeastern Pennsylvania, the chest is crafted primarily from walnut and oak wood, featuring a fairly thick construction. The uniqueness of this piece comes from its original foot design.
Its basic form, and maybe later in the 18th, early 19th century, add some bracket feet in order to update the fashion. So it's extra rare to have those turned feet,
So
which
these
are
are
original.
the original feet.
A piece of furniture of this immaculate quality and in very good condition will have an estimated value of
Between 10 and 15,000.
15?
That's right.
a remarkable horn chair featuring hides of elk, moose, and buffalo forms part of a set of 4, believed to date back to the early 1900s. Originally from the Clarence Parker Estate in North Dakota, it stands as a testament to Western craftsmanship and heritage. Its construction showcases meticulous attention to detail, evident in the secure fastenings and the thoughtful capping of moose horn tips with plaster of Paris for safety and preservation. Its robust design reflects a commissioned quality rather than hastily assembled furniture typical of its kind.
Say that we haven't seen horn furniture or moose furniture, but nothing of this size, quality, or condition.
This incredible chair, upholstered with buffalo hide, embodies a distinctive Western aesthetic. Its blend of materials and craftsmanship sets it apart, making it a rare find in the realm of horn furniture, potentially exceeding this range under the right market conditions. Its value could fetch at auction.
It would be $6,000 to $8,000, but that's not to say that it couldn't surpass that if the right people were engaged.
In the early 1970s, the guest discovered a porcelain set at an antique shop just outside of Philadelphia. It included a teapot, creamer, sugar bowl, cups, and saucers, all small in size and adorned with intricate Dresden-style paintings. Each piece bore an underglazed letter A and a gold rose mark. Initially, it was believed to be an early 18th century set with an A mark linked to Augustus, the German emperor. However, it was later found to be from the 1880s, marked by Helena Wolfson's Dresden Company. A gold rose mark, another identifier of the company, confirmed it was from the 1880s, not the early 18th century. Despite being an antique fake, the set remains a valuable piece of hand-painted Dresden porcelain. In today's market, its retail value would be between
So in today's market, my guess is that a retail price for this set would be somewhere between $400 and $600.
This painting by American artist Willard Leroy Metcalf, a prominent Impressionist landscape painter, dates back to 1906. Metcalf's work from this period, known for its pastel colors and feathery bushwork, marks a revival in his artistic style. This transformation came after personal hardships, showcasing his resilience and evolving talent. This painting likely depicts a scene from Old Lyme, Connecticut, showcasing rolling hills and a rocky landscape. The artwork was discovered in the attic of the guest's late wife's grandfather's house, originally framed in ornate Rococo style. It was reframed in a simpler peachy cypress frame.
By the ugliest Rococo frame you've ever seen, which then my late wife replaced with this Pecky cypress.
A title on the stretcher at the back reads Reflection of Spring, reflecting its significance and Metcalf's esteemed place in American Impressionism. Today, its estimated value is
$150,000.
Wow, that's pretty good for something that was free.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
a painting depicting a couple and their baby on the shores of Lake Erie, created in 1894, holds significant family and artistic value. This scene features the guests' grandparents and Aunt Susan, set in Huron, Ohio, near Norwalk.
I have to tell you, Ellen, you have the best looking grandparents of any that I've ever seen.
And they really looked like that, too.
The painting was signed by Charles Courtney Curran, an American Impressionist painter connected to the family through marriage. He was born in Hartford, Kentucky. Curran studied in Ohio, Cincinnati, New York, and Paris, where he developed his iconic style. Curran was known for his romanticized portrayals of women in scenic settings, often with dramatic skies and bathed in sunlight. This oil-on-canvas painting is notable for its round format and gold-painted corners, creating an illusion of a larger frame. The presence of a woman in a white dress, a favored subject in art, adds significant value to it. If sold in a retail gallery, this particular painting was estimated to be worth around
It might bring around $75,000.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
cherished gift from her grandmother. This guest presents us with a Dion Quintuplets Dolls and Rocker, created by the Madame Alexander Doll Company, founded in 1923 by Beatrice Alexander. The dolls represent the first quintuplets known to have survived infancy. Born in Callander, Ontario in 1934, the dolls are in their original presentation rocker, adorned with swans on the side and bearing the names of each of the girls. With great historical provenance and presented in excellent condition, this piece is worth
$2,500.
Awesome! I'll be able to give them to my daughter someday.
The guest brought a gun and a Bannerman's catalogue onto the show, items he received from his father. The gun is a model 1861 Springfield, made by the Savage Company. We can discern the production date inscribed on the gun's lock plate. Furthermore, the firearm was constructed from iron and steel with a walnut stock. This rifle was widely used during troops in the American Civil War. It has been well taken care of and remains in excellent condition. Given its rich history, we can expect this firearm to fetch a value of
For about $2,500.
That's wonderful. Can I shoot it?
I would never.
For us is a remarkable pair of Chinese white jade rams. This exquisite pair was a heartfelt parting gift from a family in Formosa to our guest's father. Both pieces are made in the traditional style of the Qianlong dynasty, and they have profound symbolic meanings.
So these are rams, which are symbols of male power, one of the 12 zodiac figures.
These stunning pieces are crafted out of white jade with a russet skin overlay and are perched on intricately designed wooden bases. Although reminiscent of the Qianlong period, these pieces were created in the Republic era, circa 1911 to 1949. These rare and elegant items have been carefully preserved and are expected to fetch an impressive sum at auction, estimated at
$15,000 to $25,000. Wow.
Myra Ann Smith's prized possession, a CF Martin 00021 guitar, is a remarkable instrument made in 1938. This guitar features Brazilian rosewood back and sides, an ebony fingerboard adorned with snowflake mother-of-pearl inlays and herringbone trim around the sound hole. It showcases high-grade materials and exceptional craftsmanship from one of Martin's best production periods. Purchased in 1939 from J&S Music Company in Shreveport by Myra's mother. The guitar was passed to the guest after she died in 1989.
Was an accomplished musician. She wrote a lot of hit songs. As you can see, Myra was quite an independent-looking lady.
The guitar shows extensive pick wear, indicating it was played frequently. Despite this, it remains in its original condition, with no refining or retouching. In today's market, this well-preserved Martin guitar is valued at
$20,000 in today's market.
Yeah, that's an eye-opener, yeah. That's a much higher than I could even have imagined.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's amazing.
This collection was purchased by the guest at a sale in New York. It features books autographed by the American poet, social activist, and novelist James Mercer Langston Hughes. Hughes was one of the earliest innovators of jazz poetry and is best known as a leader of the Harlem Renaissance. The collection includes a signed first edition of the Big C, the signed and inscribed Simply Heavenly,
For Gene Howard, sincerely, simple, not Howard, but Shaw, Langston Hughes. It's a very, very clever inspiration.
and one of his most famous works, I Wonder as I Wonder, also signed and inscribed. Presented in excellent condition, this collection has an estimated value of
$8,000 to $10,000.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's amazing.
looks like an ordinary shirt, but this shirt represents a piece of American history. This is a Civil War uniform worn by naval surgeons at the time. For a piece of clothing worn in the 1800s, this uniform is still in top condition. It was made in Cincinnati around the time of the Civil War. The uniform is made from high-quality material, which has helped maintain its condition. We can also see the shoulder straps are still in great shape. Despite being exposed to air, the buttons on the uniform are also in excellent condition.
For medical, retail value of $10,000, possibly $12,000.
The first feature you'll notice about this pot is its radiating shine. Although it resembles a pot, it also looks like a vessel. The pot was crafted by Mexican pottery artist Margaret Tafoya. This pot represents the pinnacle of Mexican pottery expertise.
And she is a Native American that lived in Santa Clara Pueblo, which is an Indian Pueblo in New Mexico.
And their style of making pottery is quite unique. Another interesting aspect of this pot is that Margaret used a bear claw as her signature.
And it represents good luck. The reason why they chose the bear for good luck and for the water pot was because the bear could always find water.
In this day and age, it is rare to see a large pot that has remained undamaged. This pot is a beautiful part of Native American history, and it would fetch an auction price of
Close to $6,000 to $8,000. So I think that your $5 investment at a garage sale paid off very handsome.
Very well.
what appears to be an average print is actually a depiction of a historic location. This print represents the Comstock Lode, which is a lode of silver ore located under a slope in Virginia City, Nevada. The Comstock Lode was discovered in 1859, and many fortunes of the 1800s came from this lode. The print depicting the lode was created in 1877 by an artist named T.L. Dawes. What's impressive about this print is that it shows so many incredible details. Prints like this are quite rare, and if it were to auction, it would fetch nothing less than
Probably between $6,000 to $8,000.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
Here is a portrait of the guest's great-great-great-uncle, E.J. Baldwin, and he was a silversmith in Massachusetts. He was born in Connecticut in 1778, arrived in Massachusetts in 1802, where he lived in a luxurious house, displaying his wealth. Although born with a silver spoon in his mouth, he was a prominent silversmith known for his spoons. He made his first spoon in 1804 after he got married to Anne Briggs, the daughter of a prominent lawmaker, and her initials are probably on this spoon. This portrait was done by a prominent artist called John Brewster Jr., and he made this around 1810. It's believed to be done in 1810 because of the style of the dress and hair, plus the classic posture and beautiful drawings of the ear, eyes, and hair. Also, the frame is original gold with some damage, but the value is not affected. At an auction, the spoon would bring $100 to $200, while the portrait would be worth
about $8,000 to $12,000. Right. On a good day, I'm going to tell you, it could bring $15,000.
The guest's father-in-law was an astute collector of art and acquired this immaculate piece, which was passed down to the guest and his wife. This gigantic fish is a trade sign made during the late 19th century. The sign has a beautiful form and an incredible surface, which shows evidence of being hung outside for a long time.
It's a little difficult to tell its origin. One clue might be the sort of wood that was used in carving of the fish. Well, we don't know, do we? It's all painted over.
The quality of the artwork is brilliant and is mounted on a wrought iron bracket. The appraiser wasn't able to determine what wood the sign was carved from, nor its origin, although, based on its aesthetic appeal and its evident age, it is given a conservative estimate of
$10,000 to $15,000 range.
It's nice. We really like it.
These pictures are not your ordinary photographs. The guest collected these photographs for over 15 years and highlighted that their first acquisition was an autographed picture of P.T. Barnum, famously associated with the Barnum and Bailey Circus, was known as the greatest showman on earth and the Shakespeare of advertising for his exceptional marketing skills. The appraiser noted that Eisenman took the photographs, a premier 19th century photographer based in New York who specialized in capturing circus performers and theatrical figures, often referred to as outsiders or freaks. Among the collection were cabinet card photographs, album and prints from the 1870s and 1880s, featuring notable circus performers such as Millie and Christine, who were Siamese twins, albino sisters, a snake charmer, a lady with 4 legs, a tattooed man, and a bearded lady. Many of these photographs were signed, adding to their historical and monetary value. One photograph in particular, of the Count and Countess Magri, had signatures and an inscription on the back. Additionally, the collection included smaller photographs known as carte de visite, standardized calling cards. The appraiser found a particular interest in Rose de Alma, who resembled the Circassian woman introduced by Barnum as special circus figures due to their unique soft and fuzzy hair. In total, there were over 110 photographs spanning some of the circus's most prominent history. And regarding the value,
I'm at $10,000 to $15,000.
This guest inherited this artifact from her father, who started the Brimfield Antique Show.
Grandfather was Gordon Reed. He started the Brimfield Antique Show, and it sat on a table for as long as I can remember in the house, and my mother got it, then I got it.
This is a Chinese bronze censer, dated according to a manuscript to 1872 AD, the 12th year of the Emperor Tongxi, the 9th emperor of the Qing dynasty. This censer is an artistic work of art crafted with sheer brilliance, featuring intricate designs on the edges that suggest it was used in a temple. A rare and unique censer of this immaculate configuration is estimated to be worth
perhaps $8,000 to $12,000 on this bronze censer.
Okay.
The guest brought in a map that was saved by her father from a post office about to be demolished, and he had had it framed after that. Having the insignia of the US Post Office, this map is surely a post office map. It was a working map for the post office, having all the locations they covered, which was the North Carolina and Virginia areas. All the routes covered are on the map, and at the bottom are the keys explaining what the symbols meant. Also, there were colored lines showing the routes to cover once, twice, or 3 times each week, while the blue-lined routes were 3 times a week. The red ones were once a week. This map was issued on February 1st, 1888, and while there are updated editions, this was the first edition of the map. What is valuable about maps are the area, the information, and the relevance to the time, which are adequately captured on this map. In perfect shape, this map would be worth $3,000 to $4,000 in the market, but due to chipped edges, it is worth
$1,800 on this map.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I mean a lot of money even given the condition.
In this condition.
If timeless pieces were in watch form, they would be these 2 watches. The 2 watches are very special because of their rich history.
And one of the founding members of the American watch industry was a man named Edward Howard, who also had his factory in Boston. And together we've turned up both an Edward Howard watch.
And they represent the pinnacle of Boston watchmaking during the 19th century. These watches were made around 1870, but they've remained high quality thanks to their Boston heritage. The watches are also quite appealing because of the shine of the gold material from which they were made.
If you open up the back of a Howard, it is this wonderful mechanism.
These beautiful American watches at a suitable auction would fetch the price of
$1,500, $2,500 as well.
What looks to be a normal bracelet is actually a timeless classic. This bracelet is called a snafflebit bracelet, and it was made in 1965 by Hermes. A bracelet like this was designed to be used by a horse and to provide easy communication. It's made from silver, which at the time of making was quite valuable. The snafflebit was unusual, and one like this would have been used on top horses because Hermes was known to be associated with luxury. This snafflebit is a beautiful piece of history, and at an auction, because of its luxury maker, it would fetch the price of
between $3,000 and $5,000.
Okay, wow.
We have quite the combo on the Roadshow today. This plant stand and table are quite special, but not for the reason you'd think. They're special because they were among the first items on which pyrography was done. Regarding the design, pyrography refers to designs made using fire or heat. The pyrography designs on this combo are quite appealing and scintillating, and the designs are exceptionally well detailed.
This wonderful watercolor design, and then they've been varnished and protected.
The method by which pyrography is done is quite unique.
A small hot iron put into a benzene flame, an alcohol-type base flame, and burnt in.
At auction, this combo of paint stand and table would fetch a suitable price of
Really over $3,000.
These two extraordinary drawings by John Biggers are quite fascinating. Biggers, an African-American muralist who rose to prominence after the Harlem Renaissance. John Biggers. Charcoal drawings with white chalk additions. Biggers' style in these drawings suggests they were created in the 1950s, around the time he first traveled to Africa. The drawings feature a front and back view of the same figure, a rare painting. The subject is speculated to be either an African woman Biggers met or a tribute to his wife.
I think 1957 was the first time he went to Africa. That would make sense for the date. His wife is still alive, so it's possible that she could be contacted and find out if it is her.
The historical and artistic significance of these pieces is immense. In today's market, this remarkable pair of drawings is valued at
$12,000 to $18,000.
Well, I really appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing them in today.
Oh, my pleasure.
This piece transcends the realm of ordinary toys. It is an exquisite wooden eagle, once cherished by the guest's mother, crafted with meticulous attention to detail by the esteemed S.A. Smith in Vermont. This enchanting piece exemplifies the finest wooden riding toys of the late 19th century, renowned for their remarkable creations, including battleships and cars. S.A. Smith's toys were a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the era. This particular eagle, dating back to approximately 1895, stands out as the pinnacle of their work, embodying both artistry and playful elegance. Adorned with patriotic Americana elements, such as a shield proudly labeled America on the seat, this toy captures the cultural spirit of its time. Today, this beautifully crafted artifact is not merely a plaything, but a valuable collector's item, appraised at
This could easily bring $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh my goodness, I am thrilled to death.
This is one of the most unique vases you will see, and this is because, in contrast to most vases, it's designed to look like a fan. It has a beautiful peacock design on its surface, which conveys luxury, and the colour is quite distinct, increasing its appeal. The vase was made to model those produced by the Tiffany Company, but, as we can see, this is not an authentic Tiffany vase.
Is an attempt at a Tiffany fan vase. You can see the way it comes up like this.
Right.
And Tiffany did make some fan vases. However, they didn't quite stop at this.
Nevertheless, the vase is still a beautiful design and exudes great appeal. At an auction, this fan vase would retail at the price of
$250. So you wouldn't lose money, and you loved it, and you've gotten something out of it.
These remarkable Black Forest carvings were a gift from the guest's grandmother. They are believed to have been in the family for a long time. These carvings date back to the late 19th to early 20th century, likely from the 1880s. The quality and depth of the carving make these some of the finest Black Forest plaques
Plaques I've ever seen. Really? Generally, when you see the plaques, you don't see this quality and this depth of carving.
The pieces are made from fruit wood, an unusual choice for such intricate work. These stunning carvings exemplify the exquisite craftsmanship of Black Forest artisans. Individually, the plaques are valued at varying amounts. However, the entire set of 3 plaques is conservatively valued at
$1,000 to $1,500 for the whole set of 3.
A glance at this photograph, and many folks wouldn't notice it's over 50 years old. This photograph was taken in 1929 by Margaret Burke White. The photograph was taken to depict the complete steelmaking process at the time. Margaret had a trademark style for identifying her photographs.
This black ruled border that we see around the print is typical of how she created her photographs.
She also loved to use cream-colored paper to serve as the frame for her pictures. Her method of taking photos is also quite unique and represents the abstract method of photography. This is a historical depiction of steelmaking, and this photograph would auction at
$4,000 to $6,000.
The one print?
the one photograph.
The guest found the items in her mother's basement after she passed away 3 years ago. It was suspected that her grandfather might have taken a detour through Niagara Falls, where the item was likely made by the Seneca, Iroquois, or Mohawk tribe. The first item was dated 1906 and was made as a tourist item, featuring cluster beading or clump beading. The beading gave the item dimension and made it more 3D, but it needed to be cleaned. The other item was a Cheyenne Possible bag, with beading on both sides, making it rare and beautiful. The beading was done in the lazy stitch style, with each group of beads on a piece of thread tacked down at each end. The sewing was done with animal sinews and threads, and the design was classic to the 1870s and 1880s. The items were in fairly good shape, considering their age, and they were appraised at.
If you cleaned it up a little bit, it would probably be worth, at an auction, $150 to $200. It would probably sell for $3,000 to $5,000.
Books often capture an author's essence, but this book is extraordinary. A handcrafted collection of poems and drawings by William Faulkner. A guest brought a book of poems written and handcrafted by William Faulkner. The book was gifted by a close family friend who revealed she had a summer fling with Faulkner in 1919. The appraiser confirmed the book's authenticity, noting Faulkner's handwriting, poetry, and Art Deco style drawings.
Poems by William Faulkner, and he produced the entire book. The handwriting is by him, the poems are by him, and there are also drawings in here that are absolutely beautiful.
Created before Faulkner had become a published author in 1924, this piece reflects his early artistic efforts. The book is bound in beautiful vellum, adding to its uniqueness. The appraiser highlighted its rarity, mentioning that such items seldom appear at auction. If auctioned, according to the appraiser, it could fetch
$70,000 to $100,000. Really?
If you're a fan of board games, then this appraisal is for you. Board games are tabletop games that typically use pieces, which are moved or placed on a pre-marked game board. The guest started collecting early editions of Monopoly games and discovered antique game boards at different shows. These games featured sophisticated graphics and colorful designs, which were meant to target adults and appeal to them as buyers. The graphics featured very intricate details being displayed on the covers. The guest recalled paying $35 to $50 for a large McLaughlin game board. He mentioned that a Man on the Moon game board sold at auction for $5,000 9 years ago. The guest's mother met Eva Hess at a summer art program in 1957, and they became close friends. They stayed in touch over the years and even picked out the guest's mother's wedding dress together. In 1960 or 1961, Eva Hess gave the guest's mother a drawing as a wedding gift. Eva Hess was a German-born artist who studied at Yale and became known for her sculptures. The drawing showed Hess's early style, which was figurative but evolved into something more mysterious. The drawing was prescient, as it hinted at Hess's later work with odd shapes and materials. The letters discuss day-to-day life, art, and Hess's health, providing valuable insight into her life and work, a testament to the enduring value of Eva Hess's legacy. The appraiser estimated the value of the archive, including letters and other items, at
$30,000 and $50,000. I would say for insurance, maybe around $75,000.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think we should get it insured.
The guest collected World War I memorabilia and purchased a lot of items related to Camp Hancock in Augusta, Georgia. The items included documents and a diary belonging to a company clerk named Barnum. The documents were all pertain to one ordnance company with several famous baseball players. The company included 7 Hall of Famers, including Ty Cobb, Heinie Wagner, and Christy Matheson. The players were enlisted and received training in ordnance and chemical warfare at Camp Hancock in 1918. The guest had purchased the collection for $30, unaware of its significance. He himself was surprised to find such a unique collection and recognized the significance of the documents. This mystery of a collection with many stories to uncover was appraised at
$2,000 to $3,000, and at auction, I think it would probably go for more because it is unique and it's like a mystery.
This guest and her husband discovered an oil painting dated 1953 by Kenneth Nunemaker, a self-taught artist associated with the Pennsylvania Impressionist movement. Known for his vigorous brushwork influenced by Edward Redfield, Nunemaker often painted en plein air, capturing scenes with vibrant energy. Titled Bill's Place, the painting was acquired for a mere $2, surprising the guest with its artistic quality. It bears Nunemaker's signature and is marked with the locations New Hope, Pennsylvania, and Center Bridge, where the artist lived and worked.
$75?
Looks to be $75.
$75, so that's presumably what he was selling it for at that time.
Due to the rarity of Nunemaker's works on the market, its auction value is between
Probably to fetch in the 6,000 to 10,000 range at auction.
6 to 10,000?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Never would I have thought that.
The guest had found a purse while renovating a house, but it turned out to be a wallet pistol. The object was found in a side compartment behind the fireplace in a Circa 1800 Cape house in Essex. The guest had hoped to find old money, but instead found the pistol. The appraiser demonstrated how the pistol worked, revealing a button that releases the barrel and a folding trigger. The pistol was based on a pinfire system that was designed by Oskar Frankenau from Nuremberg, Germany in 1877. The pistol was dated to the late 1870s, and it was likely made in Germany. Concealed firearms like these were popular in the late 19th century, but this specific type was fairly scarce. A unique and valuable piece of history, this pistol was valued at
$3,000 and $5,000.
Excellent.
The guest brought a painting his aunt purchased from an artist in the early 1950s. The guest inherited the painting from her parents and had it for over 20 years. A Californian historian and illustrator, Gleason was a man of many interests, including painting, illustration, acrobatics, and music. He was known for his work with ships and boats and had a great affinity for the sea. The painting was likely a mature work, painted in the 1920s to 1940s, and is titled Sea Urchins. The guest had an insurance appraisal done in 1988 to 89, which valued the painting at $2,500. The charming painting by the talented artist was appraised at
$20,000 to $30,000.
Oh my.
The guest's grandmother, Pauline, who studied both math and art, attended Newcomb College and was taught by Ellsworth Woodward, from whom she received several treasured artworks. The Woodward brothers, Ellsworth and William, moved to New Orleans as teens, immersing in the local art scene. By 1890, Ellsworth was the first dean of the Newcomb Art School, and both brothers helped found the school and Newcomb pottery. Pauline's collection includes a pastel sketch by William Woodward depicting her grandmother. The collection also includes a watercolor of the Newcomb College campus, valued lower due to market preference. However, the highlight is an oil painting from 1917 showcasing the Newcomb College chapel behind a fountain. Emphasizing its artistic and historical importance, at auction, this quintessential piece by Ellsworth could bring
between $30,000 and $50,000. That's more than I thought.
The Georgian era was renowned for its exquisite jewelry, often featuring intricate metalwork and vibrant gemstones. This showcase necklace is a perfect example of that exceptional craftsmanship. Our guest today comes from a family of antique jewelers in Hyde Park, Chicago, dating back to the 1930s and 1940s. This piece was passed down to her through generations. Adorning the necklaces are precious gemstones, such as green beryl and pink stones that could either be morganite or precious topaz. The necklace also features a gold foil backing behind the pink stones.
This is one of the techniques that the jewelers use to make the stone more intensely colored.
Typical of Georgian-era jewelry, this piece includes beautiful tiny beads surrounding the larger gemstones. Another notable feature of the necklace is its pendant, adorned with green beryl stones, pink stones, and also a gold foil backing. There are no hallmarks on this piece, so we can't be certain who made it. Nevertheless, this beautiful jewelry is estimated to be worth
$7,000 to $9,000.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, the family will be so pleased. My mother would just cry.
Aww.
The guest inherited this vintage purse from her grandmother. It is a 14-karat gold mesh purse, dated circa 1905 to 1910. Opening the purse reveals a small powder puff and a mirror. Interestingly, the purse still contains its original powder, which is truly incredible. The hallmark of this purse is its fine, intricate weave, giving it a flexible and delicate yet sturdy appearance. Furthermore, the interior is lined with pink silk, providing a luxurious feel. Despite being made so long ago, the purse retains its allure and grace. In this condition, we can expect the purse to accrue a significant value.
Say between $3,000 and $5,000.
Okay, wow.
These artifacts share a common origin, all hailing from India. Together, these artifacts showcase the rich history and artistry of India. First, we have a wristwatch from Kolkata with an unusual cover on the winder. This case is hallmarked in 14-karat gold, making this watch a unique piece of wristwatch jewelry, valued at. Secondly, we have a small box made from ivory, beautifully designed to resemble a cottage. Upon opening it, one might expect the box to be a tea caddy, but it's actually a sewing host. Such artifacts were made in the 18th century, making this piece extremely rare and worth
£5,000 to £8,000.
Ooh, golly.
Lastly, we have a brooch with a sapphire set in it, weighing about 90 carats. Named the Maharaja hat pin by the guest's father, this piece is a very unique jewelry item with an estimated value of
£12,000 to £15,000.